Alright, YouTube, I'm going to go over a couple things about the ATM business. I got started in it about almost a year ago now. It was September of last year that I filed for an LLC, got my bank account, and then bought my first ATM. And when I bought my ATM, I already had a location set up for it. I did all that work ahead of time. Now, if you want to get started in this, I'll explain to you what you need to do and what you can expect. So after about a year, almost a year now of doing this, I have 5 locations now, making about $700 a month off of all 5 of those locations. Now, they're not great locations right now. It kind of sucks because like 3 of them, I'm really only making like $100 a month. One of them about $150, and I only have really 2 good locations that are making me over $200 a month. And that's really what you want, is to make $200 a month or more off of each ATM. Now, I'm still doing the work trying to move locations. I'm still trying to give another the one that's doing $150 a month, still trying to give that one a chance because it's fairly new. My 5 locations are, so I have one barbershop that does really well. That's the one that I make over $200 a month. I think he has like 7 barbers in there, and he's cash only on the weekends and after 2 p.m. during the weekdays. I get so on the weekends when he goes full cash only, I'll get like over 10 transactions a day there. During the week, it's usually around 4 to 5. The machine itself makes like $400 to $500 a month, but the only way the guy would have let me have the machine in his shop is if I gave him half. So I'm doing a 50-50 split with him, which really is not ideal, because you really prefer to do more like a 20-80 split, or even go as far as a 30-70 split. But 50-50, that sucks, but it is what it is. It was either that or nothing. So, and the guy is really hard to deal with anyways, so I just let it be. So I was like, whatever. My other one that makes good money is a game room. Game rooms are kind of sketchy as long as they're not paying out in cash if they're located here in Texas. Then that does make them legal. They pay out like silver coins or some kind of prize or something. But I just passed one of my other ATM locations. I just looked at it real quick. That's why I was looking that way. That was a tattoo/barbershop, which is the one I'm trying to give it a chance, because they've just opened up. But so far, I'm really only on track to make about maybe 100 to 150 off that one so far. And that guy, I negotiated with him, if it makes under $200, I would only do 15%. If it makes over $200, I'd give him 30%. And I told him if it does under 100 or less, I don't pay him nothing, which I really can't afford to pay him nothing, because these machines cost close to $3,000 a piece. So what to expect? Like I said, you're not going to get rich off doing this. I do have one used machine that I paid $900 for, but coming in 2025, I'm going to have to update the keypad, which is going to cost me about $500, maybe $600 possibly. I don't know. I have to look into it. Other than that, how to get started. So a lot of people, I have an ad on Facebook for placement for my ATM machines, and a lot of people are contacting me wanting to buy the ATM machine, or they ask me, how do you get started in this? And I ask them simple questions like, okay, do you have an LLC? Do you have a business bank account? Do you have a processor set up, and they don't know what the hell I'm talking about most of the time. A lot of times they'll have an LLC and a business bank account, but they don't know what a processor is. So first thing, like I said, is I would file an LLC, open one up. I use ATM Business to do mine. Then after that, I guess most banks want an LLC. If you open up a business bank account, they want something like that to show before they allow you to just open up a business bank account. So, but that's crucial. You have to have a business bank account opened up. Now, as far as the bank, stay away from these big time national banks: Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. The reason being is, say you go into a big full-time chain grocery store like HEB we have down South Texas and everything. They have really strict rules, as versus a mom and pop store that the owners, they might let you behind the counter, or something, if they really trust you and know you. Big HEB Super Saint chain store like that's not going to allow you to do stuff like that and have privilege. Well, the same goes with those banks. They're not going to just allow you to run an ATM business under a business account with them, like Chase Bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. They're going to be real strict. They're going to give you the runaround. Chase Bank just straight up said no to me. So did Bank of America. Wells Fargo they're trying to make me fill out a bunch of ridiculous paperwork that I couldn't even answer because my business wasn't up and running. Like, they're asking me how much revenue do I make a month. I was like, okay, well, I don't know yet. I don't have it up and running. So, stay away from those type of banks. You want to go to a local bank. I do Credit Human, which is local here in Texas. I'm based out of San Antonio. There's a bunch of branches around San Antonio. I don't know if there are any other cities around Texas, but I know they're here in Texas and San Antonio, I think in Austin. Other than that, after you get your bank account established, another thing, when you get the bank account established, just make sure you tell them what you're doing, that you're doing an ATM business, because if they find out that you're running an ATM business and you didn't tell them, they could and most likely will shut you down and close your account on you to where you're screwed. So just be up front with them, let them know what you're doing, because if they start seeing $30,000, $40,000 a week going through the account and, withdrawals and then putting back in, withdrawals, putting back in, that might raise suspicion, and they might be like, hey, what are you doing? We're going to audit you or something, or tell you about, Anyways, it might be trouble, and I would just be up front. The reason why I know that is because I was mentored by a guy who had to change banks because he wasn't up front with the first bank that he opened an account with. He told him he was doing vending machines, and he got like up to 6 locations, I think doing like close to almost 100,000 between the 6 locations, close to $100,000 transferring through his bank account almost weekly. And they shut him down because they audited him. They found out he was doing ATM machines and he was supposed to be doing vending machines, and it became a no-go after that. So he had to switch bank accounts. Anyways, after you get your bank account established, you want to go. Now, you can use any processor, but I use Payment Alliance International, and they have a site called PAIreports.com. You can go to their site. They have a phone number. What I tell people is call their phone number, tell them that you want to set up an account with them. I mean, you could do it online and do it through there, but some people get confused on exactly, I don't know, they get confused and they start asking me weird questions, and I just tell them, just call the number and they'll set it up to you directly. And what you have to do is pretty much fill out 3 different forms: Exhibit 2, Exhibit 3, and the W-9. You send those in, and pretty much it's just, you know what the W-9 is. The Exhibit 2, Exhibit 3 is just like basically your information and then your bank account information, basically, is all it is. And then you send it into them. They set up your account for you, and then after that, you need to start cold calling to get locations. At least call about 50 to 60 a day, if not more. You can even do, the pop-in. And I got my locations all different ways. But you want to get a location set up before you buy the ATM. So when you go to PAIreports.com, you can do everything from that website. You can they have an app that you download off the Play Store or app, or I don't do iPhone, I have Android, so I use the Play Store from there. And they have an app that I was able to get and work it, and I can see, everything about the ATMs that I have, pretty much, if they need to be filled, or, how much money's left in them, how many transactions they have, all the reports on it, everything. So there's a link to atmsuperstore.com. You can buy the ATMs directly from there, and all the products from, like paper, whatever you need, signage. One thing you will need to do is order convolopes. Convolopes will have those are your master keys that you will need to input when you program the ATM. They're free. Once you have the account, all this stuff comes to you for free. You just order it through the site. Just request. There's a button on there. You say, okay, request 20 convolopes, and they'll send you 20 convolopes. Because once your account's set up, they already have your address and all that stuff. And all you do is go there and just press, okay, I need 20 convolopes, and they'll send it to you. The only thing you do have to pay for is the signage and the paper, printer paper. Not like the stickers, they'll send you stickers for free, but like the actual light signs for ATMs, they have those, and you can buy those from them. Now, when you do buy the ATM, I always recommend buying the Gen Mega 2500. They're the easiest to use, easiest to program. The Hyosungs are a little more difficult to program, I think, in my opinion. I mean, it's pretty much the same process. It's just the way the keypad's set up and the way you have to go maneuver through the keypad. It makes it a little more difficult, in my opinion, with the Hyosung. The Gen Mega, I'm a lot faster with it. I can program it a lot quicker. So I always tell people I recommend the Gen Megas. Even though sometimes the Hyosungs may look a little fancier and better, but the Hyosungs are more expensive. And the internal mechanism to feed the money, in my opinion, for the Hyosungs, I think is cheaper than the Gen Mega. I think the Gen Mega is built better internally. I don't know. I have a Hyosung. I've had a different Hyosung than the one I have now, and it would jam a little bit sometimes, just depending on what kind of bills I put in there. The Gen Megas, I've never had a jam whatsoever. I've had old bills, brand new bills, never had a jam, or never had a money stoppage, jam, clog, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to say. So after you get your location established, you buy the ATM. You want to make sure you buy a wireless box. There's also a little tab on there to buy a wireless box. And like I said, if you don't know how to maneuver through the website, just call them and place the order through them directly through the phone. They have very good customer service. That's always an option you can do. Even programming, if you don't know how to program it, you can always just call them and say, hey, I need a step-by-step. They do give you an instruction sheet, and but sometimes it does help, like with the instruction sheet and them on the phone, and then you doing it actually on the machine itself. That's kind of how I actually had somebody telling me how to do it, But the second time I did it, the guy wasn't there, and I had to get on the phone and have them help me do it. And it's real simple, like once you get the hang of it. There's even a YouTube video on the Gen Mega 2500 specifically, and the guy goes exactly step by step and shows you on the screen itself of the machine, what you need to do to program it for it to work, basically. And it's just a few steps that you have to do. It's not hard. And basically, you need to enter the envelopes, and then after you enter the envelopes in the machine, one thing you must do is bind the envelopes. And that's all explained in that video, how to bind them. You do it on your phone, on the app, basically. But that's it. You set your terminals up through the app, everything, the location that you get. You do all that. It's real quick. Your bank account information should already be set up. Like once you set it all up through the Exhibit 2 or 3 form or whatever, and they set up your account for you, when you go in the app and you click for, okay, I want the surcharge fee and all the money to go into this account, you just click your bank account information and be like, okay, goes in here. It's all set up for you. It's all just a matter of just clicking buttons. That's it. Even programming the machine, it's real easy. Most of the machine's already programmed for you out of the factory. It's just a couple tweaks you have to do to get it to actually work. And like I said, there's an instruction sheet that they give you. It takes maybe 30 minutes to set all completely up with entering all the envelope master keys and everything like that. It's real simple. Other than that, that's really all I got for the ATM business. Like I said, after a year, I got 5 locations, only making $600 to $700 a month, give or take. I'm hoping that will pick up with the 5 locations I have. I'm most likely going to have to move. I have one in a barber college. It's like a barber college / church. It's kind of weird. The barber college is on one side and the church is on. It's like one building, but they separated. I don't know. But the owners of the barber college they're like the pastor for the church. So I don't know. But it only gets like maybe 2 to 3 transactions a week right now. I just put it in there. It's only been in there less than a month, like maybe 3 weeks. But so far, it's only been getting 2 to 3 transactions a week for those 3 weeks. So I'm thinking I might have to move that one because I don't know. I don't see it picking up. My game room scared me at first because it started off real slow as well. It was only getting like 1 to 2, maybe 3 transactions the first week. I think it was like 3 transactions the first week, and then the second week picked up. I was getting like 1 to 2 a day, so I was getting close to like 10 that week. I think almost. I think it was like 8 for the entire week that second week, and then the same third week. It was kind of flat, like it stayed about, I think I got 7 transactions the third week, if I'm not mistaken. And now it's picked up to where it's getting like maybe 4 to 5 transactions a day. And I'm still hoping that picks up even more, because I've had a buddy that has a game. He actually has 2 machines in one game room, making over $4,000 a month for him, just that one location. So I don't know where that game room's at. Don't ask me. I didn't ask him questions about it because I know that's one of his big money makers. But I'm hoping the game room I have turns out to be where I can at least get close to maybe $500-600 a month off of it. That's my goal, is to have each machine making me $500-600 a month, like $500 minimum is what I really want per machine. I would love to have one location giving me $4,000 a month. That would be just fantastic. But that's, that's probably like hitting the lottery for something like that. It's just not realistic. And what I've found, I didn't go over the techniques of how I get locations. So one of the things I do is I do cold calls. I do the pop in, like just randomly go up into the business, ask them. I've got some locations that way. That's how I got my barber college. I've had a nightclub that I got kicked out of because they decided to buy their own machine, but I got them through the mail. So I just started mailing my advertisement. I came up with an advertisement letter on the computer and did some images of ATM machines on it and everything like that. And just pretty much advertised, my business out. And I mailed probably about, I don't know, close to 600 to 700 businesses. I probably got maybe 5 different locations doing that alone. And only 2 of them were keepers, which both of them I don't have anymore because, like I said, one of them, they kicked me out because they ended up buying their own ATM machine. And the other people, they stopped doing cash only. So it went from doing like $300 a month that I was close to making to, it literally went down to like less than $100 a month. I think I went 1 month, it was like close to 300. It was like 280 something, 290. And then the next month I was like at 87. I was like, what is this? And then like the next few months it was close to like only making $100 a month. So I was like, you know what? I was like, y'all do me over like that? Y'all want to get a credit card machine? Whatever. That's fine, but I'm taking my machine elsewhere. And I went from there and put it in that barber shop, but I was making over $200 a month, I think, with the 50-50 split, mind you, because that machine makes like $500 a month, which those are the locations you want, but negotiating that 50-50 split was really tough. But like I said, it's still a keeper. I make over $200 a month off of it. I think 1 month I paid him $280 and I kept $280, something like that. It was as hard as it was paying him $280. If I didn't pay him that $280, I wouldn't get to keep $280. So, like I said, it is what it is. And the reason being is because the guy, he used to he owned his own ATM machine, and I knew he wasn't bullshitting about it because he showed me the app that he used to have and all that stuff, and all the machines that they're disabled under his app, but he had the app set up and all that stuff, so that makes me know that he did have locations. Anyways, like I said, cold calling, mailing out advertisement letters. And I did those mainly to like nightclubs, strip clubs, gas stations that were like a little farther away. Like I said, the only ones that hit were the 2 nightclubs. Well, I had mostly all nightclubs that hit. There was one bar location that I sent out to. That bar was a dud. I got like 1 transaction in the 3 weeks it sat there, and I pulled it. There was another one that was a barber shop, but it was a single guy, and that was only getting like 2 to 3 transactions a week. He was cash only, but it was just him there. He didn't have a big clientele. So, yeah, you want to get cash only businesses, but when it's only 1 barber, that's, doing 2 to 3 transactions a week, that you can't make money off that. That's like $50 a month. You know what I mean? You can't pay off a $3,000 machine making $50 a month off of it. That doesn't work that way. So 5 machines. Now I got them at you will get them at discount if you have an account with PAI and you buy them directly from their link off to the ATM Superstore, you get like $200 off. So instead of paying like $2,800 for the machine or however much they advertise it, I think it's like $2,650 actually. You pay more like $2,500 or $24 something. You get almost like $200 off, close to it or something like that. When you buy it directly through the account that you have set up. Other than that, I guess if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you want to make another video about it, explaining more, I might do a video of me showing you how to program the machine. I know there's one already on YouTube that it's pretty well explained, but I might do one myself here in the future. Other than that, that's about all I got.